Episode 30, Father's Day Special, Aditya Tiwari. So, Peter, this Father's Day, I think we've done something, I guess, collectively we should be proud of.
Yeah, Nadir, I completely agree. I mean, when we discussed last month, that okay, we're going to do a Father's Month special kind of thing. Then we kind of spoke to people uh, who we should involve, and we're trying to get together everyone. And then, you told me about Aditya and his story. And it's such an inspirational story. I mean, for not only for someone, doing it all alone, but for his age and the journey. Really, it was something that I knew we had to get him on board, and yeah, here we are.
And in case if you guys are wondering who Aditya Tiwari is, um, Aditya Tiwari is the youngest single parent in India. He adopted a special needs child back in 2016. In fact, I think it was a very interesting start of the year for him. On the 1st of Jan, he got custody of his child. And from there on, it's just been a journey, and he got covered a lot. Everyone spoke about him in the media. But today's episode is not to kind of recap on what he had achieved from, a single parenthood standpoint or changing the laws of adoption, all that. Today, we want to know Aditya Tiwari's journey of parenthood, what it's like to go on this very interesting journey of being a father, and the kind of struggles or the kind of experiences that he's had with his son Avnish. So, Peter, I think we should just go straight in and listen from Aditya himself.
Yeah, let's do that. Hi, Aditya. Great to have you on Pops in a Pod.
Peter, thank you.
Everyone kind of knows about your story and, the journey that you've been over the last few years. And it's not been an easy one. I mean, both Nadir and I could resonate it to a certain extent as parents. But how has it been, in the last few years post the adoption? If you could kind of encapsulate that for us.
Okay, so post-adoption on means from 1st of Jan 2016, I got the custody of Avnish, legal custody of Avnish. So for us, it's like a new world, and we started looking at this world in a different way. And the only aim was to make a meaning of this life, to use this opportunity what God gave us. So Avnish is the wonderful gift that I have received from God, and I'm very thankful for this. And I don't say it was a smooth journey or I didn't face any hurdle or problems during my parenting. But yes, I can say it's an adventurous journey because to have a child with special needs. So first, I decided to understand my son, and means I want him to understand who I am for him, because he was an orphanage and he was around 2 years old when I got his custody, and he was with me. So means I decided I will not do any experiment on him. Means I don't want him to be cured, and I understand that it's a genetic disorder. It can't cure. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder. So better to enjoy with his extra chromosome he has. So from morning till night, 24/7, we are together and trying to understand each other. So there was a bond between us. That's the reason we met. And now it was a time that we are together. Everybody questioned us how you can do alone, and it will be a challenging job. And we ignore all those negative part, all the questions and the concerns people were raising. And even eventually by days, weeks, months, we were comfortable with each other, and we were traveling to the different cities, states, and to participate in various events, conferences. So we were happy. Means I didn't face any challenge in upbringing him, or at any point that I don't know what to do now and how to tackle the situation. Because I learned from Avnish, just keep trying and be patient, right? So miracles happens when you believe in it. So like the doctor said he won't able to stand on his own feet ever in his life, so he had a two hole in the heart, one hole required immediate surgery, and there are another health issues. And I said, no, first I want to understand my child, his daily routine, and he should understand me, who I am for him. And slowly we work on his daily routine, diet, food, do's and don't for him. And like a typical child, means
Yeah.
I was not doing anything extraordinary or different for him, because I consider him as a child, and he is a child for me. He is my son. Yes, he has a special needs, but it comes later in my mind, or it won't come anyways, because I don't care if the milestones are delay, or he needs more time, or he is learning with his pace. Because we don't now put ourselves in a bracket, log kya kahenge, what other people will think of us.
Right.
So initially, and from the first day, I used to talk with my son that what I'm doing, what I'm planning to do, and what mistakes I did. And I identified that he sincerely looking in my eyes and listening what I'm telling to him. So I believe that yes, whatever I'm telling to him, he is understanding. So before taking any decision, I take advice from him, because if I understand in a way that he won't understand, so he will not understand. It will happen with everyone, even with a typical child.
Yeah. Of
If,
course.
so it doesn't matter if he is a special need or not typical child. So from we started sharing everything, like at the same time wake up from the bed, then taking a bath, getting ready. I put him in a school when he was 2.5 years in a normal school. And school, the authority asked he can't walk. So why you are putting in the school, ma'am, for a play group? What is the criteria for a play group? It's just a age criteria, right? And
Yeah.
why you need a shadow for my son means what a 2.5-year-old child can do in a class, how he can harm, right? Even the typical child may harm him, but he won't. So initially, I have to sit with him in a school for a couple of months, and then slowly he started going alone and enjoying the company. So, and it's by the time his heart hole filled automatically, and when he was 2 years, 8 months, he started walking without any support, without any medical intervention or treatment. And I was learning how to take care of a child, and he is the one who is helping me to understand what is parenting. There are certain questions people were asking, like how you can give a love of a mother, or how you are doing, how you are taking care in terms of a mother. I am the same person for him who met with him in an orphanage. So I'm not playing a role or any character of a father, mother, brother. Like in the morning, I am taking care of father, and by end of the day, I am changing my role or character and taking care of him in a mother's way. No, I'm the same person, and the best part, he is enjoying, he is learning, and he is growing. So that matters to me. So buying clothes for him. So sometime it was a nice to do a shopping for him, and he also enjoys. And I allow him to pick whatever he wants, which color clothes or toys he wants. So sometime when he's going to school and I'm getting late for my office, so the pairs are always get changed, exchange, and even the socks or the shoes he wore different, and I put him in a school. But the best part, he never questioned me that somebody had pointed out why you wearing the wrong clothes or socks or the wrong pair of shoes. So he'd never complained me. Even I am learning whatever I cook for him, he ate. So he never complained. He never told me that you are not looking good, or you are not taking care of me in a proper way, or you have lots of means problems, hurdles, or you always have a lack of time. No, he don't complain for anything. He just happily accept it, and he's teaching me how to explore the world, how to live the life in a different way. So whosoever I am, it's because of him. He gave me this identity, and he's the one who accept me. Because see, it's always a parent's requirement to become to have a child. It's not the child requirement first to have a parent. And so who the hell parents are to say no, we can't accept the child, it's because child is different? No, because you are planned the child. So it was my requirement to become a parent, and Avnish is the one who fulfilled this requirement and who accepted me even till now. So we are together from 4 years. He's going school, he completed his lower KG, and he's achieved his milestones. Speech is delayed, but he is learning. He's good in communication. He plays various instruments, and he holding a world record at the age of 2. When
Wow.
it's difficult for a typical person forget about the child to hold a world record at the age of 2. Right,
Okay.
and
What
so
is this world
he
record
is very
about?
happy child. So see, we are the youngest single parent in the world. So Avnish is the one who gave me this opportunity. So mine and
Right.
Avnish name are there in the world record book. It's in the
Right.
Golden Book of World Records. It's in the India Book of Records.
Right. So, Aditya, I just wanted to, I mean, you spoke about parenting, and, you touched upon this whole journey and how you've also embraced this journey of parenting, and it's all thanks to your son, Avnish, right? But when did you realize that, you want to become a parent? Because I'll tell you where this is coming from. I became a father. In fact, both Peter and I became, fathers at the age of 31. I think I was almost sort of entering 32. But you became a parent quite young, and that too a single dad. So when did that thought come across that, you know what, forget the fact that I'm not married, forget the fact that I'm going to adopt a child. How did that thought of becoming a parent so young and having that, confidence that yes, not only am I going to, adopt a child, but I'm going to sustain my journey of parenthood? How did that come about?
My journey is different, as you all know. So I never thought of become a parent, and whatever it's happened, it's in a spontaneous decision. I met with him in an orphanage, and they said nobody wants to adopt him. I said, okay, give it to me. So that was just a thought. So I never thought of to become a parent. I thought to help this child, and every child deserves a family. So just because he's a special need, so it doesn't mean he should be abandoned. So I thought just to take this child with me and enjoy my life with him. That's it. So parenting, even when I got the custody, and then I realized that now I'm a parent. So parenting was not in my mind. It just to get the custody of a child and live my life with him.
So one of the questions, I mean, immediately just to follow up to what Nadir said, I mean, with both our wives, right? They had an entire 9 months when they were pregnant, and the ups and downs, right? There's times where you're ecstatic that you're going to be a father, or you're going to be parents, and the times where you're just like, as dads alone, you're just wondering, am I prepared for this? Am I ready for this? Right? So that's a traditional parents' journey where you have like 9 odd months or so. Yours, on the other hand, is a complete different journey to becoming a father. So if you could just like talk about the highs and lows in there, because there would have been certain times where you would have felt that, okay, tell me, am I ready for this? Am I going to do this? And at certain times you were like, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to get this done. So if you could just tell us, encapsulate a quick story through that, that would be great to hear.
Right. So yes, we heard a number of times. See, by birth there are some programming is done in our mind. So when we make our mind, that is called a mindset.
Yeah.
So everyone say the woman bear a pain for 9 months, and it's very difficult for her, and then produce a child. So that is the reason we must give a preference to a woman, and she's the first. She is very close to the child, and the first word child says ma, mama, right? But in my case, I bear a pain for 18 months.
Which is
And
something
that 18
completely
months, it's not only it's the financial, psychological, physically, psychologically, mentally. It was like a torture, because everybody was against you. You have to travel for 1800 kilometers almost every week. one journey cost me 7,000 rupees. I'm the only one who is earning in my family. I have to take care of my professional life as well as this adoption journey, and I have to write many emails, letter, and to all the national leaders to help me, support me for this journey, to stand in front of a couple of to stand in front of the hours just to request to the minister, just to means listen and understand my case and help me out, because I was not eligible to adopt any child in India. So this was an impossible task for me, what I want to do. So these questions like I can be a good parent or not, I can take care of a child or not, it was not in my mind, because my challenges were different. And I think those hurdles I faced, and now I compare the parenting, it's much easy.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
everybody was saying you are mental, you are wasting your time, money, and at the age of 27, why you want to adopt a child, special needs child? What do you know about the child? And I said, no, I want him. I don't care. And they said this child have many health issues. I said, doesn't matter to me. So yes, it was it means the 1.5 years, none of my family member was talking to me, and they were saying कि तुम हमारा नाम खराब कर रहे हो and all that stuff. The emotional torture from the middle class family. So it's until I got the legal custody, and then everybody start appreciating. It was very difficult for me to. I didn't try to convince anyone, but yes, to stop all those tortures.
Aditya, you brought up a very important point in your process of finally getting the custody of your son, which was balancing your work with this very personal journey that you took up. And I'm sure that must be still happening, which is how are you trying to balance your personal life and your work life? So was it very different while in the process of gaining custody of your son, and now perhaps it has changed and you've got into a certain routine? What was that like?
Yes, it was very challenging, because see, when you work in a corporate firm, so you have to perform.
Yeah.
You're not a government employee that it won't matter if you go to office or not, or I have to be in office for at least 9 hours. I have to complete all the tasks which is assigned to me. There are mid-year performance review, year-end performance review, and during that time, I have to travel for thousands of kilometers every week, and see, those ministers are working on weekdays. So I have to work in office on weekends and make sure I will get the comp off, then travel by road and come back on time and continue my work. And during that journey, I got the best employee award.
Wow.
So it's very difficult, but when I got the custody of my son, my manager was in Singapore, and he called me and asked, Aditya, only one question I have: how did you manage your professional and this personal life, and you had so much of trouble and struggle in your life? So yes, it's not easy, and the reason means the people think if you are working, it means you have a good life, and an office you are treating properly and you are earning money. But to be with a child, it's a very difficult job. So it's not, because there are times even during my professional career, I have a child with special needs. So getting an admission in a school, and to make sure that he is treating well in the school, and to take him to the various doctors for the therapies, that all is also required. And to work in a corporate firm, it's not easy. So there was a time when I worked under a person that I won't able to means focus on my priorities and responsibilities, because of the work pressure, because I have to I have to work on the odd hours, and sometimes stay longer in the office. But here's my organization I work for, Barclays. They are very supporting, and after a struggle for some time, and I got the opportunity to move from the project, but nobody knows about it. And they said I have a happy life, and yes, everything and everyone is supporting, and we don't have any pain or struggle in the corporate, in the work life. No. So work life balance, it's not easy to maintain. There was a time when we faced a mental torture, and but we have to work because you are the only person who is earning in the family. And if you won't work, if you quit the job just because not happy or satisfied with the project, with the amount of work, or because of any reason, so you don't have any option. You don't have a personal life. You are doing the work for your family. You are bearing all those pains, torture. It's because of your family, because you want your family must be happy, and because you are earning, and money matters.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
absolutely. I think that's a very good point. And in fact, I'm glad that you brought up your family support as well, because that's the next question that we had. That for this throughout this entire journey, of adopting Avnish, what was it like for your parents, and how did they support you?
Initially, not, because nobody will support you for the decision to adopt a child with a special need as a single parent. It's never happened in our country before. But yes, after when they saw that, when I got the custody, and everybody started appreciating it, and they said, you have done something good. And my parents also realized that yes, you have done something good, because in a middle class family, everybody is worried about what other people will think of you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes media plays an important role, because media play a role to change the perspective of an individual. When it comes in a media that we got the custody and became the youngest single parent, and this was a struggle, and Indian adoption law was changed, and suddenly everybody started appreciating my family members. So my parents also realized that I have done something good, and they start appreciating and supporting. So from the day their perspective changed, and they were very happy and support, and they are the good support system for us now. And means Avnish also loves them, they also love him, and it's a good bonding between them and Avnish now.
Yeah.
So it's like grandparents and the grandson have a good bonding.
Yeah. So, you rightly brought this up earlier. I mean, in both Nader and I are from middle class families also, so we understand, the whole thing of log kya kahenge, society and things like that. But one of the things every young man kind of faces in there is pressure on marriage. And now with this, how did this affect marriage prospects? What was the whole thing? How did that play out?
Yes, of course, because again, the parents see they because we believe in our mindset. Okay, and I told you that the program is done by when we born, and the parents started feeding some data in our mind, and that is called a mindset, and we have to follow it. When the child born, they must be belongs to what gender, their names, by the names. By the name and the surname, child belongs to which society, caste, religion, then schooling, then college, then job, and then marriage. It's compulsory, right, for middle class person, and after marriage to have a biological child, and then the life goes on in the same way. So this is the cycle we are following. So of course my parents, they want me to get married, and I decided, okay, if I want to get married, so even I don't want to create any example that I got married and I adopted a child and I didn't got married, and my parents want it. So I said, okay, fine, we'll do it, and we'll do it with a person who don't have, who already aware of it, and who don't have any concerns. I'm not looking for any support or to take care of my child, because I will marry with a girl, not with a mother, and a woman cannot feel a responsibility of a mother until she don't have a child, right? Nobody can, even not the man. Forget about woman. So I am looking for a girl. I am not looking for any support system, and of course it's an individual choice to support, not to support, agree, not to agree. We cannot pressurize or force for any decision, because I have already made to adopt a child. So I got a life partner who supported for this decision and ready to continue the supports after marriage. And we got married, and I decided to do it in a different way. As I told you, that means after getting the custody of Avnish, we saw the world in a different way. So we don't want to follow the same rituals what my family society is following from hundreds of years. We decided since the marriage is a new day, so why don't we celebrate in a different way? Why to waste the money on my family members and
Oh
friends
yeah.
friends who already have sufficient to take care of themselves? Why don't we do something for the people who need it the most, who don't have the food or the basic needs to survive? So at least we need to make their one day of their life. So we decided not to invite any of the friends and family member from my side, and we did it for the 10,000 parents. All were special needs
Wow.
in my hometown, and we did it for the animals, 1,000 animals.
Wow.
We adopted a tiger because my son, he likes tigers.
Wow, that's
And we
damn
did a
nice.
plantation. We gave medicines and other books, medicines as a gift to the all the 10,000 guests in my marriage. So we decided and we implement this. And again, this is the second world record we are holding, one of the unique wedding with the unique invitees in the world.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I actually didn't know about this, but
Yeah,
it's
this
unique
is,
because you don't hear this typically. Someone doing this, because India, unfortunately for the international world, means big weddings and
Big fat Indian
all this
weddings.
stuff. Right? And then you have this side also, which nobody wants to talk about. So it's very interesting. And thank you so much for sharing, Aditya.
so it happened because of Avnish. Because I told you, we saw the world in a different way. We don't put ourselves or put in a bracket of log kya kahenge. So
Right.
everybody was saying that you can't do this, mazak karo. There was no band baja barat, no sitting on animal, no traffic jam. It was just a marriage, and because we looking for blessings and wishes, not the comments and compliments for that
Correct.
day. And they said it won't work. Okay, even if, and we didn't look for any special muhurat, specific day for a marriage, because I believe 365 days are same. A
Yep.
human born and a death on 365 days. So why a certain specific muhurat or specific day for marriage? And even if it won't work, so it won't work even if I do it on a special day. As simple as that. So yes, so the people is after coming again in the newspaper, and people start appreciating it, and then it's a world record.
That was your marriage, and it obviously had a very interesting journey. But after your wedding and everything was done, and when your marriage started, when you, your wife, and Avnish started living together, did your wife take some time to kind of get used to the setup, of your setup with your son? And if that was the case, then how long did she take to finally settle in and then bond with Avnish? And what was that process like?
We don't feel anything like taking some time or not, because Avnish, by the time he started going school, and he has his own routine, and we were training him the toilet means we were giving him a toilet training that time when he was 2.5. So I was with him. I got the adoption leave from my company. So it was not a much time she took, and within I think a couple of months, she knows about it. Means what is routine, what food we are giving, and what are the do's and don'ts. So we didn't face any struggle, and that's a good support system now. Means there was no typical there was no misunderstanding. There was nothing. It's just like a normal life.
Yeah. So what my next question was that now you're married, you have you have this nice family of three plus your parents. What are the prospects of having your own child, as you said, you're a biological child coming into this family? Have you thought about that, or you're happy with just one child and make sure that all your efforts and everything is put into Avnish?
Sorry, but what to say about it means, how does it matter if I have Avnish and he is my child, and I don't think there is a difference between it. For me, it's adopted child or a biological child. I don't feel it. And we will have a so we are working for the many now. I work for orphans and special need, and for their rights for to get the better life, and so yes, we will get many children. We will adopt few more in a process already. So
Okay.
I
That's
don't feel
interesting.
there's a difference between adoption or a biological child. Means even the people, they don't accept the biological child. That is the reason they are abandoned and orphaned.
True, of course. Yeah.
Right. So means yes, this question many times people ask, and I avoid to give answer to talk on this because I feel it's negative question.
No, of course.
Means
For
how
me,
somebody can differentiate. Even the people, they said that me and Avnish, they look together, means look like each other, and if I don't say Avnish is my adopted child, nobody can identify it.
true. No, so what I intended to ask was, do you see yourself expanding your family, extending your family? Like, because I'll be honest, the reason why we asked you this very specific question is both Peter and I, we and our respective wives, we come from a thinking that for us in today's day and age, I think it's probably best for us, at least the way our lives are and our lifestyle is, to have one child and kind of stick to one child. So I wanted to get your understanding on, is there have you kind of planned your future in a certain way? Of course, Avnish is very much a part of your future, but do you see yourself expanding that family either through adoption or through your biological having biological children? That was, so I wanted to understand your thinking behind that.
Okay. So yes, Avnish has many siblings. Currently only 4, but we will extend it to few more. Right. So see, I'm for the few child, I am a guardian. Okay, and there are the few who may join soon, and all are the different age groups. Okay, and yes, see, this is the common thinking that just depends on the earning. We shouldn't plan for a big family or
Correct.
only to stick to a one child. But what I feel, everyone has their own destiny. Means the child is not dependent on their parents. Unfortunately, we believe the parent are the god for the child, and they only can take the right decision for their future, for the betterment of them. So it's not correct. So I believe everyone has their own destiny, and if Avnish needs siblings, he need a company of more people because he likes, he enjoys. So definitely, I mean, just because of the reason I don't have a good earning, or I don't give any excuse for this. So as soon as he's happy, I have to work on it. As simple as that. So to get siblings for him, it just because to give him a company. I'm not looking for any support system for him, but yes, I want him to with a good people. So yes.
Honestly, Aditya, when Nadir and I were discussing before this, right? You're such an inspiration, not just to like people who are bringing up children alone, but also just normal parents also. I mean, it's such a great thing, and especially a lot of things that you've said, right? It's very against what we've traditionally known in India as parenting. So I'm really glad you could share your story with us, and yeah, all appreciation for everything that you do and are continuing to do, really.
Thank you.
Aditya, also it's so uncommon for fathers to kind of come out and do something so inspirational, because this is exactly the foundation on how we've built this platform and still trying to build, is to kind of give a very different perspective coming from a father. And I think you've put that in this huge gap I think this country is feeling right now. And I think you are one of the big proponents of change, and we really appreciate that you've shared your story with us. Thank you so much, Aditya.
Thank you.
Peter, you are absolutely bang on, in the introduction where you said that Aditya was such an inspiration. And today also, after we heard him, on what his journey's been like post adoption, you would assume that he's already won the battle. But I think for him, life had just started, and life doesn't necessarily mean, happy go lucky and everything is going to fall into place. I think the struggles for him had just started, and the way he spoke about it in terms of schooling, in terms of the whole mentality of the society of, what will people say, log kya kahenge, and how he kind of battled through all of that and still managed to kind of be that prime person in the society. I mean, it's just phenomenal what he's done.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, when he was talking, I was just trying to wonder that, after you see so much, and typically in, most, at least Bollywood movies, this is the part where it's like, yeah, and they live happily ever after, right? But it's never
Right.
really that. That's when, like you rightly said, the journey really starts. And I'm really glad to see how the last 4 years have been with him. And, honestly, I'm really looking forward, because with a parent like Aditya, the sky's the limit literally for Avnish, right?
Precisely. And one thing that really caught my attention was the fact we asked him about his marriage and his life partner, and he said that yes, of course, there were hindrances over there as well, because who would want to marry a bachelor who's adopted a child at the age of in his late 20s, and how do you kind of go about that? And it was just so beautiful what he said, that for me, I wasn't looking for a mother. I wasn't looking for someone who has to take responsibility of my son. I was just looking for a woman, a life partner, someone who wants to share her life with me. And it's such a poignant thought.
I mean, think about it. We're still in 2020, but still, a 27-year-old adopting a kid without a wife, a child with Down syndrome, and he changed, adoption rules. 2020, and this is still not normal. I mean, so this morning I just read a story about a gentleman in Italy, and he again is a single dad who adopted a little girl with Down syndrome. And typically you think that India is backward when it comes to certain rules and things like that, but I mean, for this to be happening in Europe, I'm sure there is something unique here.
Yeah, and the Italian gentleman adopted this special needs child after 20 families rejected her. So clearly, I mean, there is a heart and a soul, irrespective of where you come from. And we've got an Aditya in India, and we have a Luca in Italy. So it's just great. And
I mean, all of this just got me thinking last night while we were having our chat, is that it's 2020. There's so much going on. I don't know how really people are going to be celebrating Father's Day, whether they will be with their fathers, will they manage to go no matter where in the world they are. So all this got me thinking and wondering, what really does it mean to be a father?
That's a great thought, Peter. And I'm really happy that this was a positive episode. This was a positive conversation with a very positive man who wanted to bring about changes in his life and the society. And I think he will have a long journey to be a father. In case if you guys have such an inspiring and interesting story, please do write to us on popsinapod@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook. Just search for Pops in a Pod and follow us. You can like our stuff, you can comment, you can share, whatever suits your fancy. So until next episode, we shall see you guys soon, and we'll stay connected. This is Nathapop
and Peter Pop.
See you guys next time, and have a happy Father's Day.